Yeah, Eyes and Ears Don't Lie coming at you again with another short one. And as I said, when they first happened and he first talked about unilateral tariffs and everything, that what he was doing was illegal, that it violated the Constitution and due process for implementing unilateral tariffs, including reciprocal tariffs. And all these MAGA maggots came out saying how I didn't know what I was talking about and that this is great for the country and look at how much money he's raising, because they're idiots. Like people that have no education or common sense and simply believe anything the pedophile in chief says. All the money that's been collected for tariffs illegally is paid for by U.S. businesses or U.S. consumers. Whatever company is importing the goods pays the tariff and they pass it on to the consumers, or they eat it and it cripples their business, requiring them to lay off their workforce, downsize, close factories, close businesses, close locations. That's what's the effect of tariffs. There never was a point where China's going to pay the tariffs or any of these other countries are going to pay these tariffs. The tariffs are paid for by the importer, who then has one choice or two, which is to eat them, lose profit, lose revenue, or pass them on to the consumer. And 99% of businesses will always pass those on to the consumer because you're in business to make money, not lose money. So the pedophile in chief did it illegally. As I said, you can go look at some of the older videos. And today, the appeals court invalidated many of his Trump tariffs. So the next stop will be the Supreme Court, and we know how they'll act because they're crooked as hell. They're a bunch of cowards that don't rely on the letter of law. They just do what he wants. And it's a damn shame. But at this point, they were ruled illegal because they are illegal. And he's going to have to refund all the tariffs plus interest. So all this money that he says they're taking in, you're going to have to refund it unless the Supreme Court, which we can't trust to follow the letter of law and be a respected highest court of the land, because we know what they've done so far. Almost all of the decisions that they've rendered that have anything to do with Trump have been some bullshit based on political pressure to appease him. But if they follow the same standard of law that's written, since there's no national emergency or a declared war, he can't just do that, but he did it anyway. And everybody says, well, the Constitution, no, we know what the Constitution says. He does a whole lot of shit that he's not allowed to do based on the Constitution. But these cowards are not standing up to him, and they're letting him do it on all levels of government. From the House, the Congress, the Supreme Court, a lot of these appeals courts, these regional judges, in these districts. Just because he's doing it doesn't make it legal. But they're a bunch of cowards. So now you're going to have to refund billions and billions of dollars plus interest. And the interest is going to be, so yeah, you're giving back the money that you collected, but since you now owe interest, that's coming out of taxpayer pots. So it's not that you just got to put this money in some ghost bank account or something, make interest and pay it back. You're going to owe these people more money than you collected. And it's not like you're going to break even based on, well, we just held it, so the interest we made is just going to be the interest we paid them. That's not how it works. You guys don't understand economics. And that's the way that he's been able to delay this and keep doing this tariff shit, is because he told the courts that should we lose, I'll pay everybody back with interest that'll make them whole. Even though it doesn't make smaller businesses whole that have had to close due to these tariff costs and impact. So now it's going to go up to the Supreme Court, where these willy foo-foo ass punks, you don't know what they're going to do, but they'll probably buckle or kneel to him, not because he's right, because they're a bunch of crooked ass cowards that are as corrupt as his ass is. So it's an important thing to be paying attention to, because it's illegal what he did. And the angle that he's using, posting on live social and trying to pressure everybody, is the amount of damage that it'll do to the U.S. economy should you reverse these tariffs. So you did something illegal that you shouldn't have done, but you're saying if you correct this wrong, it's going to do so much damage that we can't rebound from it. because he was anticipating collecting illegal tariffs to cover up some of the big, beautiful bullshit that he did with the tax cuts to the billionaires. So when you compound, you're not going to be able to illegally collect these tariffs that were being paid for by companies in the United States and consumers with the tax cuts that you put on the big, beautiful bullshit. You thought it was a $37 trillion debt? Wait till you see what it's really going to cost when you're not collecting these alleged billions of dollars, which I don't even know how much you've really collected because you're full of shit. Every time somebody puts out a report that doesn't make you look good, you fire them. So I don't even believe you're collecting all those tariffs. Japan already came out and said, we ain't never offered this idiot no $500 billion to invest any way he wants. They've offered to give you low interest loans, since one of the largest bondholders in the world is Japan. They never agreed to give you 90% of their profits for business that they do in the United States. You idiot, and all you dumbass followers. What business survives when they're only able to keep 10% of their profits? Like, everything out of his mouth is a damn lie. But that's what I've always said before, and I've learned is that when you're speaking in public, you don't have to be the smartest person in the world. You just got to be smarter than your dumbass followers. And MAGA maggots, you pedophile protection league members, y'all got to be dumb as hell. Because the stuff don't even make sense unless you're uneducated and just don't even care. Because that's really what it is. It's like they're so driven by hate that I don't mind if you fuck my life up as long as you get the people of color and they get done worse. If you can make America white again, because that's what we want above all else, we don't care about the rest of shit. So watch out for this, because it's going to matter, especially now. You know, we getting ready to come into September. You're getting ready to come into the holiday seasons and things where you're going to have Halloween, you're going to have Thanksgiving, you're going to have Christmas. And, you know, watch the cost of everything, especially since he's going to delay this as long as possible when he sends it up to the Supreme Court of the United States. You already lost in appeals court, so you're going to delay it as much as possible so that you can continue to illegally collect whatever it is you're collecting. And then back him in a corner where, even though I'm breaking the law, look at the damage of me breaking the law is going to do if you correct it. Just outrageous shit. There's never been somebody more corrupt in U.S. history than this fool, and he's up there with the world's most corrupt.